our Wednesday live sessions, and it is 7 p.m. Central Time. Got a pup in the background, got a plane overhead. Where are you all from? Welcome, welcome. Minnesota, South Carolina. Excellent. New York, California. Great. Welcome. Well, so these last few weeks on the lives, I have been opening it up to your questions, your topics that you want to work on with anything related to spirituality, to astrology, to kind of wherever we want to go with this, being respectful to everyone listening. I do want to talk about the Capricorn full moon, which is tomorrow. And I also want to talk about Uranus finally moving into Gemini for the next several months, and then it's going to retrograde back into Taurus for the last couple of months, and then it will be in Gemini, I believe, until 2044. So we've got a while with it in Gemini. And when Uranus is the planet of where are you not free, the disruptor, and it really wants to challenge you to figure out what things are not working for you. And it's also a higher octave of Mercury. Mercury is communication. So with it being a higher octave, it's all about communication. And that could be communication to yourself, to one other person, or to a group. Gemini really doesn't care who it's talking to, and Uranus doesn't really care who it's communicating with, who it's talking to. It just wants to express itself. So during this time, you might find out that you might want to start a YouTube channel. You might want to write your own book. You might want to, do a really big project at work that's in a form of creating, getting your message out there, however the medium is. Maybe you do something really cool on Canva. It's about getting your ideas out there. And it's also about saying what is true for you. Hello, welcome, welcome, welcome. And so when it is in Gemini, it wants to share ideas. It wants to share truths. And sometimes those truths can be uncomfortable. And then on top of that, so we've got this for quite a while, but the other thing that we have right now is tomorrow we have our Capricorn full moon. And Capricorn is all about structure. It's ruled by Saturn. That's what Aquarius used to be ruled by, is Saturn, and now it's ruled by Uranus. And so you want to really think about, where is this going to show up in your life? Where is a structure? Where is boundaries in your life that are no longer valid for you? Maybe it is, there's something in your personal life that all of a sudden is coming to the surface and kind of being exposed as a truth. That is a very Uranus and Gemini, and with this Capricorn new moon, very, very much so. It's bringing those truths out, even when they are uncomfortable, but ultimately they're for our growth. Uranus really wants us to grow. So welcome, welcome. Where are you from? Let me know in the comments. And also we'll take questions in the comments too. Hello, excellent. Where are you coming in from? And we have these lives so you can ask any kind of questions on spiritual stuff, on some kind of basic astrology. I'm not an astrologer, but I do know enough about it, like these big major transits that are happening this week. But we've also done some past lives a few weeks ago. We've done some stone stuff. People had questions on healing stones. Some people had questions on doing energy work or energy healing. So any of the things that you're trying to kind of figure out a little bit more of or want to go deeper onto a topic, you're welcome to ask questions on those. And then otherwise we can kind of keep going a little bit more on this new moon or this full moon in Capricorn. Full moons, you always want to release things that are no longer serving you. And so with it being in Capricorn, it's some structures those last 6 months. What, is there something in your home life or at work that isn't, really helping you anymore? And then what does that look like? What are you willing to release so that you can let the new in? Maybe it's that you have to kind of change up your routine. Maybe you need a little bit, another 15 minutes in the morning or 15 minutes in the evening that you're gonna switch things up, switch things around. So, all right. My day is going great. How is your day going? Okay, so excellent. Welcome. Where are you all from? I know that sometimes I get people kind of from all over, so I'm always anxious to kind of hear where everyone is coming in from. Okay. So I also thought that we would pull a couple cards. These are the Wisdom of Tree cards. And I really like these cards because it really does kind of give you a good indication of something that you should be focusing on right now. And especially because in the Northern Hemisphere, it is summer. We've got the gorgeous trees behind me. It's kind of always a good thing to do the trees for the wisdom. And this one fell out. Regeneration. This is a perfect card right now. With everything going on politically in the world, in our families, it really kind of feels like this week that the rug kind of got pulled out from a lot of people, and people are trying to figure out where their next steps are. And one of the things that I will say is we are always in cycles. And so there's this time frame where it does feel like things are ending, things that we thought we could count on. It is kind of our foundations are rocking, Maybe there is something at work that is ending. Maybe there is a long-term relationship that is ending or changing. There's certainly stuff going on politically that is ending and changing, things that we thought we could count on. And this is really asking us to acknowledge that something is ending, but also that it's a cycle of starting something new. And the question is how to get to the cards, and I don't even know if this deck is still in print. This is a deck that I've had for quite a while, but it is called the Wisdom of Trees. But yes, it is a really cool deck. I really enjoy using it. But yeah, so what questions do you guys have about, how to kind of navigate this time? Are you feeling exhausted? Are you feeling that you've got a lot of energy? Like, what are you kind of energetically feeling? because it's really important to feel all of your feelings as we go through this really kind of like turbulent time. Excellent. You're feeling happy. That is great. And that's actually a really, really good point. I'm glad you brought that up, because so many people, when we go through kind of upheaval, can really spiral into the fear, and a happiness and fear, or happiness and sadness, can coexist. You can have a day or even a moment of being happy and still also feel, you know, that sadness that you potentially are having, or that fear. The more that you can balance that out, the better off you are going to get through this time, because there is going to be a lot of change and upheaval, and some days are going to feel a lot harder than others. So being able to tap into being happy is a really, really great thing that you are able to do. So excellent. Other questions? Oh, let's talk about sending someone else healing. Now, I do a lot of energy healing, but here's the deal, is when you send someone energy healing, you just have to open it up for their highest and best good. By trying to control specifically what you are sending them healing for, may or may not work. So when I send somebody healing, I usually just say kind of for their highest and best good, for however they're willing to accept it. So that is how I do it. I usually will do it. I sometimes will also send to things to fill their chakras. So I will go through all the chakras and say, oh, I am sending healing to their root chakra. I am sending healing to their sacral chakra. I am sending healing to their solar plex chakra. I am sending healing to their heart chakra. I am sending healing to their throat chakra. I am sending healing to their third eye chakra. And then I'm sending healing to their crown chakra. And again, that's a really nice, gentle way to send them healing, but not specifically for something, unless they've specifically asked you to send them healing for a specific thing that they're trying to go through. A great question, though. Okay, what other questions do we have? It's kind of feels like the lull before like the storm energetically. Things are just kind of like shifting, and you're like, okay, something's coming, but we can't quite feel it. I know that there is other psychics that have kind of talked about that, other astrologers that are like, it started to kind of be a big intense energy week, and then we're also kind of in this weird like lull as stuff is like shifting and getting realigned, is probably the best way to say that, is everything is kind of getting realigned. All right. Other questions on spiritual topics, on stones, on past lives, on galactic beings? What else do you got questions on? So this is an angel wing stone. These stones I do not believe are any longer available to purchase. I believe they stopped mining these angel wings because it was a kind of a rarer stone, so they chose to keep some resources in the country that it was mined from. So the ones that you can still get are people that have bought the stones in prior years, and then they were going to use them as to resell the stones. All right. What other questions do you have? What are you going to release with this full moon tomorrow? Ooh, being so structured in home life. That is a great one. Letting things go with the flow is really, really hard. As a Capricorn moon and as a Virgo rising, yes, letting things go, letting things flow is definitely harder. All right, I think we're gonna do this as a short live tonight. Thank you all for joining, and I will catch you on the next one after we give ourselves a self-hug. Self-hug. All right, I will see you on the next video or on the next live. I always come live on Wednesdays, 7 p.m. and we always kind of let you have fun with questions, kind of see where we go. And I do weekly energy forecasts, weekly readings, and I do have a Patreon group that we also we go deeper into the full moons and the new moons and additional weekly readings. So have a great night, everyone, and I will catch you next time. Bye.